Right after winning the diversity visa lottery, what are the steps you need to take to process everything until you arrive in the United States? It doesn't mean that the results are out on May 7, then on May 10, you are going for the interview. There is a long process, and some of the things needed to happen before you arrive to the United States. I know there are some people, after the results, when they win, they just, it's just every single day is just celebration, thinking that it's already done, they are coming to the United States. If you ask them, so you have won the diversity visa lottery, so when are you going to America? Oh, I don't know. So I want to break down to you so that you can understand what are the steps after checking the results supposed to happen before you come to the United States. There are not a lot of steps, but they are long processes. Step number 1. When you check the results, you either download or print the form or the letter, the first notification letter that you have been selected, random selected for the DV lottery of that particular fiscal year, this case maybe 2023. Once you download that, you'll go and see what is the case number. So the first step after winning is to see the case number. What is your case number? As I've been saying, the case number is the determining factor when you are likely to appear on the visa interview basing on the visa bulletin cut-off points. That is step number 1. Step number 2 is to go and fill the visa form. The diversity lottery application is not the visa form. Just because you have won the diversity visa lottery, it doesn't mean that, okay, you are just given the visa. You must apply for that visa. That's why you go to fill the form called Department of State Form number 260, or rather we call DS 260. You fill the visa form. I have explained in detail about that form. When do you need to fill it? After the results, as long as you have all the documents required, meaning your passport is valid. If you have dependents, a spouse and a child or a spouse, you must make sure also that dependent has a passport. You cannot complete that form and add a derivative and submit the form without having the passport, because in order to get the visa, it has to be stamped on your passport. Even if a person is 1 day old, you must have the passport in order to travel out of your country. That's why it's called passport. You are passing the port with that document. You are passing the port of entry, the airport, the country where you are arriving with a passport. So step number 1, make sure you check the results, but pay attention on the case number. Step number 2 is to go and fill the DSC 260 or the visa form to make sure that you are ready to apply and to go with the process. Step number 3, it was removed, so it will not be there. It used to be you have to send the documents to KCC. So that step is no longer there. They cancelled the request of the documents. But for me, I still tell you, this is the process for you. Step number 3 is you to make sure that you prepare your own documents. Not because KCC is requesting them or they're not requesting them. On your own, prepare the documents to go to the interview. Meaning, if you have high school, you have bachelor degree, you have master's degree, make sure you have all certificates ready. Make sure, depending on the countries you have lived, if you have lived in a country, Make sure that you have the police clearance ready to go. Make sure if you have a work experience, you don't have any education, make sure you get the solid work experience documentation. If it is a contract for work, if it is an offer letter, if it is also a letter from the owner, manager, your supervisor, whatever it is, to indicate that you are so and so, you have been working for that company, under what title, under what capacity in general, and what are your responsibilities in that particular job you have. So they need you to have at least 2 years in the 2 years of work experience in the past 5 years. So if you have different places, get all the work experiences together. But if you have bachelor degree, you have masters, even if you don't have even 1 day of work experience, you are good to go. You'll be given the visa. So collecting the documentations, all the documentation, you're ready to go, and keep them in a safe place. So that is step number 3. Step number 4 is medical. The medical examination is done after receiving, first of all, we receive the second notification letter. That means your interview is on this date. Usual is between 4 to 6 weeks in notification. So once you have the notification that this is your interview date, then you can go to do the medical. So step number 4 is to do the medical, but the medical is done once you receive the notification that your interview has been scheduled for this particular date. You cannot just go on your own to do the medical before receiving the second notification letter, the scheduled interview date. Step number 5 is the step where you are supposed to go now to the consular officer for the visa interview. At that time, you'll do the interview, 3 to 5 minutes, you are done. Once you finish, you'll be told your visa has been approved. Wait for 1-2 weeks, depending on the country where you are. Then they'll make arrangements. In some countries, they will send that passport to you. Some countries, you'll go to the embassy on that particular day to get your passport. So that's step number 5. Step number 6 will be for you to pay for the actual card, the green card. It's called USCIS fee. Because after being given the visa, the embassy will give you a link where you can pay now the card to be printed in America. So once you come, they will send that card. The card is not sent before you arrive in America. After arriving in America, 3 to 6 weeks, you'll be able to get that card. So you can pay that money before you come, or you can pay that money after arriving. There is no requirement that you must pay before you come. But I advise you to pay before you come, so that when you come, once you are here, the money you get here is going to other bills than before that. And the fee for that is $220. That is step number 6. Step number 7 is for you now to fly to arrive in America. Once you arrive in America, then your life will start from there. So those are 7 steps which need to happen. But from the day, step number 1, you check the results and the case number. Depending on the case number, it will determine whether you are waiting 2 months, 4 months, 7 months, a year to go for the interview. It will depend on the number of your case and other processes from there. So now you know what are the steps ahead after the results. But remember, the results are coming out on May 7 this year. The interview will start in October. October will be for the people with a small case number. So then it will keep going up and up until next year, 2023, in September 30th to be exactly. Longer processes, but I trust you'll be able to follow all the processes correctly.